Hello, it is Elizabeth from Elizabeth's Oracle. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We're going to talk about the Sun through Aquarius cycle for 2018. Here are the start times for each section of the video. For some reason, my little intro part with me on camera disappeared, but I'll be back with the charts. So thank you for tuning in.
All right, so as usual, I'm going to walk you through some charts today. There are going to be four, and then we'll come back and go into further detail. But this is just to give you the heads up and the overview. So, chart number one is, of course, the day that the sun comes into Aquarius. Things that I want you to notice here. Venus is already there per our last video. She moved at the very end of that Capricorn cycle. And of course, we have the South Node. So lots of Aquarius energy already in the making. And during this cycle, of course, we're going to have Mercury go there as well, because as you know, Mercury moves around pretty quickly. But in this chart, what you might see is that Mars is at the end of its journey through Scorpio. Now, we talked about that being really intense because it was paired up with Jupiter, and it's like all the things those two were digging up really came to pass, really, between all the Pluto influence and Capricorn. Can't say that it was one planet or the other, but they all worked in league to bring up a lot and to help us clear out what we needed, or to become aware of what we needed to be, what truths needed to come up to plan this year. So that is getting ready to change signs on the 26th when we look at this chart. Chart number two. This is a really big one. This is for the 31st of January. It is the full moon, total lunar eclipse. And for you blue moon watchers, this is also a blue moon. If you remember, we started New Year's 2018 under a big, beautiful full moon. And this is the second one in the month that makes it a blue moon. But it's been 152 years since we've had a blue moon coincide with a total eclipse. So that's huge, you guys. Also, as I mentioned, we're look at Mercury in this chart, getting ready to go into Aquarius. So hitting that very final degree of Capricorn. And so, again, more energies aligning into Aquarius. And we'll talk about the meaning of Aquarius in a second, but I just want to show you guys what those planets are up to. So, next chart here is for the 10th. This is Venus entering Pisces, and we start to shift over. There's such a beautiful quality because Neptune's already there. And as I mentioned in last month's video and pointed out to you guys, when things are in Pisces nowadays, there's going to be so much more of a harmonious aspect, even though we will get those squaring with Mars. I'm going to touch on that in a sec. But really, we get all the support in Capricorn. And of course, we get a trine from Jupiter while it's in Scorpio. So a lot of these Pisces energies are actually going to be a lot nicer than some of the Pisces stuff we went through during all the squares. Also, another thing to note, and this is another part I'm going to elaborate on in a second, but that sun is getting ready to square Jupiter. This is some of your fixed squaring. Pay attention. Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. This means you. And that was also in effect for that big moon. And I'll talk about those in a sec, but I do want to point that out. Like, just kind of notice around this day when you get a squaring energy, where you have the fixed stuff in your chart, this is going to play a role. And then chart number 4. This is Mercury entering Pisces. So look at this. We got all these energies lining up in Pisces, that relaxation, that gentleness, that holistic sign that integrates things. But we also have a Mars squared Neptune. So, like I said, the Pisces is going to work in two different ways. The Mars thing is the only kind of harsher one at work, but I wanted to point that out. We've shifted out of all that Capricorn energy, moved pretty rapidly through Aquarius, and am completing this cycle with a lot in Pisces, setting us up for the sun moving into Pisces. So let me go into part two, the explanation of things, and give you some things to look at and a little bit of my interpretation. Okay. All right, so I definitely have more facts and figures for you, but I want to step back a little bit and talk about the meaning of Aquarius so that as we're looking at all that data, we know sort of how to be thinking about it. And one of the things that I was shown was stepping back and further back and further back because Aquarius has to do with objectivity and also a bigger picture view. It is ruled by Uranus, one of the outer planets. And so one thing is perspective. So an easy way to think about this, I was shown thinking about your house or apartment and how you have this whole life going on inside that space, but then you move out onto the block or apartment building, if it's a building, your floor, all the lives that are going on just your floor or on your block, and then that block into your neighborhood, into your city, into your territory or state, onto our planet spinning, in these huge galaxies, our galaxy, and then all the, I don't know, is it billions that are around us? Quite a few. So it's about perspective. And one of the reasons I was shown that was to suggest that if you're trying to figure out day to day things, one of the things that will help you, one of the factors is to step back from your life and ask if that immediate action is supporting your long-term goals. Now, of course, we set a lot of intentions with that big stellium at the Capricorn moon, or it's the time of the year where we're still thinking about what do we want to accomplish not only this year, but in the bigger picture for our lives. So even if you didn't take advantage of that moon, we're still in that time of setting intentions for 2018. And so Aquarius reminds us to be more objective. Remember, it's an air sign, so it deals with the intellect and it can get those messages. Remember, Uranus is that one that had the glyph for it, has what looks like antennae on either side. It's listening, on a very cosmic level. So this is asking you to step back, look at your life in a much broader from a much broader perspective. And when you do that, it's like, this part goes here, or oh no, that thing isn't, I'm not even going to need that 6 months from now, or I'm not even gonna, that's not serving my bigger term goals. So you'll be able to say yes and no with much more peace and much more ease. And speaking of those yeses and nos, I really want to point out some stuff about Mars. Now, in these charts, we just saw it move into Sagittarius. That's where it goes in this cycle, and of course, it creates a little bit of mutable squaring. I almost want to ban myself from saying that in videos after the last couple of years. We have to point out what's going on. But the bigger picture with Mars this year is that it's going to have a retrograde from June 26th until August 27th, and that is going to be in Aquarius. So this Aquarius cycle is really big, you guys, for taking in all the qualities of Aquarius, because that theme is going to reemerge. Mars, as we've talked about, is our energy and drive. And if you don't want the retrograde that's going to come up this summer to feel like a Martian retrograde, like everything stopped, having that perspective and not making the mistakes or planning in ways that are much more supportive of your goals, so you don't have to tear down things to rebuild them. The other thing that I really need to point out is here's a list of the Mars squares that are going to be significant this year, and most of them are in the fixed signs. So you fixed people, again, Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio, you guys are going to hit some pressure points, and it's going to be, do you go this way or that way? With the squares, it's a perpendicular angle, so you've got to choose one. So as you move through the current Aquarius cycle, it's a really, that thing of like, well, which things are important? what things, you know, are, do I really want to remain in my life? Which am I willing to have let go? Now, remember Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, is changing signs. But before I get to that thought, let me finish. It may bring in things in an unexpected way. That's its hallmark, is some chaos, or things happening suddenly, an opening. You have an opportunity to move to a different city, or someone offers you a brand new job. So these kinds of things can come in really fast, like lightning. And it's that idea of being prepared and ready, and then having done a little bit of this homework on what your overall plan is and vision for yourself. You'll know which things are the right ones and when to step on the gas when you see that lane opening up, so to speak. Also, these eclipses are going to bring more of this out. So we have these two eclipses during this cycle, and they will repeat in terms of the signs in July and August. And we have one that will start to go on the Cancer Capricorn axis on July 12th. But 4 out of the 5 this year are dealing with the fixed energies, where we also have the north and south nodes on that full moon. 3 degrees away. So big thing about life purpose. So again, you may get some shocks, some surprises, or something coming out of the blue to help you with your goals. But Aquarius asks you to step back so that the puzzle pieces can make more sense. If you have an overall idea about what you're doing, you'll know what you want to put where and what goes where, and also what to just not invest your time, energy, and other resources into. So that's one of the biggest things about this cycle. And the other aspect, to make sure I cover it, is, of course, and you saw it with the Mars squares, with Uranus. Aquarius is ruler. I want to go slowly so I don't lose anyone here. Going into Taurus, that's another fixed sign. And of course, that's going to be a very long cycle. We're going to get more of the squares for the fixed people. So the spotlight is sort of shifted. All the mutable people can celebrate. And the fixed people, it's now things are shifting to make dynamic changes in your life for, those of us who are fixed signs. So I just want to point those things out for you with this cycle. And I would really, I always recommend meditations or setting intentions around the moons. And with these ones being so strong, and just a little side note, little trivia piece, we'll have no full moons in February. So get your full moon on the 31st of January under that blue moon and total eclipse. Lots of big energies, and it's in Leo. So it's about really embracing what you love and where you shine and what you really want to do if you ever decide to grow up. So it's playful, it's loving, it's romance, all those things that Leo rules, and of course courage. So think about your Leo qualities, use your Aquarian perspective, and I think that those things will be helpful to you during this cycle. All right, let me get to the resources and wrap this one up. All right, you guys, I am Elizabeth from Elizabeth's Oracle. Thank you so much for watching. I also visit with my friend Kristy Ayala on her show, Kristy's Connection to the Soul, on Blog Talk Radio. This month we will be doing it on January 24th, and I'm able to cover some things. If I forget them during the video or whatever, I am able to add that. And Kristy gives angel messages, and in these Aquarian energies, I feel like even more powerful, clear, cosmically cool stuff comes through. So please join us for that. It's available via the archive, so you can listen anytime. The link is always in the description box, and the links to connect with me at Elizabeth's Oracle for a reading are always there as well. And I haven't done this for a while, but I forgot. Let's throw in the YouTube special. So if you want a reading, and we can look at your chart as well, or just an intuitive look at what's coming up for you in 2018, You can get 5 free minutes with your order if you are a new customer by getting a hold of me there. You can also sign up for a free newsletter, and that way you're reminded when the new newsletters and videos are out. And of course, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications for these videos. And really, I thank you for watching. I feel like this is a really wonderful cycle coming in, but I feel like usually I'm like, go, 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 all that initiating energy. And this one feels like a bit of, it's fixed. So it stays nice and constant, and we can kind of really get used to some of the energy and kind of settle in a bit. And also, I feel like get a lot more of the downloads for 2018 that are meant for each of us. So I wish you a really positive cycle. And as those planets move into the Pisces energies, I will catch up with you when the sun moves there. And again, thank you so much for watching.